Haley, and today I'm going to be talking about what makes us tick. So before I jump into the video, I did want to mention that I did move. If you guys are not following me on my main channel, 101 Rabbits, then you wouldn't know that I moved house, which is why this room is different. It is not finished yet, which is why the curtains don't really match my room, but whatever. So I just quickly want to mention that, but anyways, let's get into the video. Many people who have never experienced Tourette's have wondered what makes us tick. They want to know what does it feel like and why do we have to do it? Which all of these are very valid questions to have, especially if you've never experienced anything like this before. For those of us who do experience tics, however, this can be a little bit difficult for us to explain. Mainly because there is nothing that the average person does that feels exactly the same as a tic. However, I'll give a few examples that will help make you relate a little bit more to what we experience on a daily basis. So for many of us with Tourette syndrome, tics are just second nature to us. A lot of the times we are ticking without even realizing it. And if you wonder how that is possible, it's pretty much just how you would breathe or blink or anything like that that you do subconsciously without even thinking about it. So just like how you breathe in and out or blink your eyes when you need to, that's sometimes how our tics work. We just tick without even realizing it. Normally if it's brought to our attention that we are ticking, we can obviously tell we're ticking, but a lot of the times for like the small motor tics that don't take as much effort, a lot of the times we do that subconsciously without even realizing it. However, for more complex tics or more distressing tics, we do realize that we're having them and it causes us a lot of distress. Because of that, sometimes we do try to suppress our tics, which you may be wondering how that is possible if people have told you that people with Tourette's cannot control their tics. So I'm just gonna go ahead and explain this to you guys so that you kind of understand a little bit more about how tics work. So what does it feel like to tic and how do you suppress it? So to explain this a little bit better, I'm gonna create some scenarios for you guys. None of these are really exactly what Tourette's feels like. However, it does help the average person understand a little bit better about tics and how they work. So to explain what it feels like to tic, I'm gonna ask you guys to do something for me. So I'm gonna ask you to open your eyes really, really wide. Now that your eyes are open, do not blink. Whatever you do, just don't blink. And now just see how long you can go without having to blink. So did you break yet? Whether it was automatic or you just gave in, it's gonna happen. So that feeling that you just felt when you were trying not to blink is just a glimpse into what we feel like when we're trying not to tic. So that feeling of not being able to close your eyes and like that tension that was building up, that is the tension that we feel before we have to tic. Now I say that, however, it is very low scale. Like when I do this exercise and like don't close my eyes and keep them open, I do feel tension. However, the tension is way less severe and way less distressing than like a tic would be. However, it's the closest thing that a lot of people with Tourette's can like come up with to help explain this to people. So think back to when I told you not to blink. What were you thinking about? Most likely your body was thinking about how much it wanted to blink. Your eyes felt dry, you just felt like you needed to do that to relieve that sensation. Another example that we could use is imagine that you have a tickle or an itch somewhere on your body. Most likely after I said that, you'll either feel something in your body that's itchy or tickly. So now I'm gonna ask you to resist the urge to touch it, to itch it, to scratch it, to do anything. Another example could be like when you get a mosquito bite in the summertime, when it's just like super itchy and all you can think about is how much you want to itch it. That is another example about how it feels like before we have to tic and how it feels like if we try to suppress the tic and not do it. Eventually, we're going to have to do it. So while people with Tourette's can suppress their tics, this does not mean we always can. Either one, we are ticking subconsciously and don't even realize we're doing it, or two, the urge is just too overpowering for us to resist. So if we do manage to suppress a tic, that doesn't mean that the tic has gone away. It simply means that we suppressed it. and that tick is going to have to come out eventually. Normally, if we have suppressed a tick, the outburst of the tick is way more severe and way more distressing than it would have been if we originally just did it when we felt like we needed to. That's why many times after school or social outings, when we come home and just relax, we will have an outburst of ticks. Many times it's just over and constant and so bad that sometimes we can't even do anything but just sit there and tick. Many times along with that comes worsening anxiety and irritable mood because of all the overwhelmingly tics we are having. That is why it is never a good idea to try to force anyone who has Tourette's to suppress their tics. It's actually worse for us to do that because later on it's gonna come out more severe than it would have. However, if you ask why we still do it, a lot of the times it's almost subconscious. Especially like when kids go to school and are with friends, they try their hardest not to tick because they don't want to be unnormal or weird. And sometimes, depending how severe their Tourette's is, sometimes they can completely suppress them the whole time they're gone. Sometimes they just have a little bit of tics. And sometimes like they can't really help it at all. And this can also depend day to day. So next time that you find yourself with someone who has Tourette's, just remember that as much as it is annoying you right now, it is annoying us 10 times worse. And it is also causing us extreme distress and anxiety. A little tip to help us out is to just simply not acknowledge that it's happening. Don't stare at us, don't laugh at us, don't make jokes about it. Just continue on with life as everything is normal. All that we wish as people with Tourette's is to be treated normally just like anyone else. Now, if someone is really struggling and having a really hard time, obviously that isn't something that you can just ignore, but a lot of the times the anxiety around the tics is almost worse than the tics themselves. So helping relieve that person's anxiety can really help lower their tics. But I can get into like that kind of thing in a different video if you guys are interested. Let me know down below if you have any video requests, whether that be about Tourette's, OCD, anxiety, anything else, just random stuff. Leave that down in the comment section below and I will read those and maybe film some of those. Thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you guys soon in a new video. Bye!